Hey, I'm Thomas Hawkins with the National Dropout Prevention Center and the Successful Practices Network. Today I want to talk about something I really pulled together in my head and I've been processing for almost a year now, since a trip to Troy, New York, where I got to go present multiple AI workshops to a school district. I went in, I was on my third workshop of the day. It was a really different group. I had had full room the first two times, and that third time I had a smaller, we lost people after lunch in the professional development. And I had a group that was exclusively elementary teachers and elementary support staff, except for one gentleman that was sitting in the back corner, who was a at-risk middle and high school coordinator. And so we're sitting there, we were going through, and I get to my favorite point. I start talking about, here's how your kids are cheating, and I was like, and I'm not sure how this affects you elementary people, but we need to talk about digital citizenship and all the fun things that come along with it. And then I said, you don't want a student to generate a paper. And the gentleman in the back corner raises his hand and he says, I absolutely would love to. It would make my day, if not my week, that one of my students would generate a paper and hand something in. And I was like, what do you mean? That doesn't make any sense to me. I was like, and I realized after he started explaining that I had missed this crucial part of the AI equation in education. His kids are at risk. He would love it if they felt engaged enough, if they attended enough, if they were involved enough to feel the pressure, feel the need to turn in a paper. He went on to say that he'd probably celebrate it, even if it was a paper that sat there and said at the beginning of it, of course I'll generate you an essay on Gatsby. It would show that that student felt that it was as important as he wants it to be for them to come and turn in their work. And that was Halloween last year, so it's been almost a year now since that trip, and I've spent a lot of time thinking about where do at-risk youth and where do our at-risk educators fit in this AI conversation, and I'm starting to consistently come to the answer that it can be this decisive force that closes gaps, whether they be in equity, resources, anything. AI can start to bridge those gaps, but at-risk educators are dropout prevention practitioners or anybody that works with children in general that may not have a leg up in some way. This can be that piece that closes the gap. But in the meantime, there are these thirds that we're able to break down students into. And this is not research proven. This isn't something where I know the data or know the actual numbers. This is just thirds for me to illustrate what I'm seeing out in the field and when I talk to educators. Your first third are the students that aren't going to cheat. Maybe they know about AI, maybe they know how to utilize AI, but whether it be through great digital citizenship or whether it just be ethics or expectations, they're not going to cheat with it. That's your first third. Your middle third are your students that are cheating with it actively. They're using it, whether it be because of academic pressure, societal pressure, peer pressure, family pressure. There can be all these reasons that a student would feel driven to cheat with AI tools or any other ed tech tools at this point. AI is just such a blanket term. But I'd also like to add a qualifier when we talk about that middle third. You're only catching a small portion of them. Let's call that the third of the middle third is who you're catching. Because the majority of students, when you catch them, they won't be caught again. It is so easy for any student to get past any LMS detection, Turnitin.com, any of them can be beaten within seconds. When you are catching a student using AI to cheat or for academic dishonesty, you are only catching the ones that were lazy, and you probably won't catch them again once they know they got caught and they can go to their friend, they can go to TikTok, they can go to something else and see how to get around you from now on. The last third is the one I think I've forgotten about for far too long in my initial AI discussions, and that's the kids that aren't engaged. Can't cheat at school, they can't be people that we need to be worried about their digital citizenship if they don't attend. We can't be worried about, are they cheating if they're not engaged in the back of class and they weren't going to turn in the paper anyway? we need to really focus in on what we can do to engage those youth before AI tools will make a difference for them, before this expedited changing world that we live in, as Ray likes to say, our VUCA world. Before this VUCA world can ever matter to them, basic strategies need to be implemented to get them into schools and get them engaged in the schools, bringing in the community, heavier family engagement. We have all these tools at our fingertips, but before we can be too focused on the AI problem, we really need to focus on the at-risk youth issue first.